Hawaii is under a tsunami warning after a powerful earthquake hit Russia's far east today. The tsunami is expected to hit that state within several minutes, so this is a live look from Honolulu right now. The Coast Guard has ordered all commercial vessels to evacuate harbors across the state. All of the Oregon and Washington coast are under a tsunami advisory, and people there are urged to be out of the water because of the risk of powerful waves. It is set to hit those areas just before midnight.
And parts of northern California from Cape Mendocino to the Oregon border are under a tsunami warning, where it is also set to hit just before midnight. And here is a look at the traffic backups in Honolulu when that initial tsunami warning went out. Drivers packed highways as they raced to find higher ground. Sirens blared across the state to alert people about the warning. In Oahu, the U.S. military opened a restricted pass to help ease evacuations.
So this is video out of the far eastern Russian coast where that quake first hit a few hours ago. You can see the damage done to the landscape by the flooding from that tsunami, with waves reported as high as 13 feet. Heavy damage to several buildings has also been reported there. The region has dealt with several aftershocks after that powerful initial earthquake. Parts of Japan also saw tsunami-level waves, but so far there are no serious injuries reported in either country. Well, we are bringing you first live local team coverage of how this tsunami advisory is affecting our area.
Now, our Leslie Delmonique is in Newport while Dylan Scott is in Seaside. But first, let's get to meteorologist Peyton Major for a look at what she's seen. And Peyton, I guess 10 minutes away from that first tsunami surge hitting Hawaii, right?
Yeah, definitely concerning. I think any kind of tsunami alert is a very frightening. I do want to give you some context. This happened off the ocean, which is exactly why we have that tsunami threat. And yes, those waves can travel really far. Here's what we know. It was an 8.8 quake, depth of around 12 miles. It happened just after 4:20 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And then we do have those alerts. So with Hawaii, it's really hard to tell exactly how big those waves will be. It's just hard to know exactly where they'll hit. But we do know northwestern Hawaii probably has the highest risk, up to about 9 feet. Elsewhere, again, still under that warning, thinking around 1 to even 6 feet. Those waves are expected to arrive 7:17, 10:17 local. So yeah, we are just minutes away there, and we'll be really closely monitoring that. Now, we are kind of lucky here because those waves are not going to be as strong by the time they get to us. Thinking anytime between 11:40 to 55 tonight, 1 to 2 feet. And 2 feet is kind of the higher end of that scale. We're thinking right around Seaside. We'll probably get the highest wave heights there. Tsunami warning, as we mentioned, has been upgraded for parts of Northern California from Crescent City all the way down even to Eureka, where we're going to have slightly higher waves. That's kind of sandwiched in between the advisories. So you can pull out your phone, take a photo. You can also find this on our Fox 12 weather app, also on our Facebook and Instagram and Twitter pages. But this is the wave arrival times that we are anticipating. Again, this is not a dire threat. We're not talking about dangerous levels of wave heights or anything like that. Basically, the best advice I can give you is don't be on the beach. Don't be in the water as well. The currents will definitely stir up. It's also low tide, which means that tide will be retreating along with the tsunami that happens before then. Now, we had a watch before, but basically that's the National Weather Service's way of giving us a heads up. They're saying get prepared. There was an earthquake and there may be a tsunami, and then there's kind of two ways that can go. We got the lower end of the scale here. We got an advisory, but there's also the higher end, and that's the warning. So that's why we're seeing some more intense impacts for Hawaii, whereas we are just going to see basically the most dangerous impacts directly on the beach or in the water, not a widespread threat. We're going to continue to keep you updated, but we'll have your full first alert forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Okay. Thanks, Peyton. Officials on the coast are advising people to take the necessary precautions as this advisory remains in effect.
Okay, so right now let's bring in Coos County Sheriff Deputy Sergeant Christopher Gill, who's on the phone. Good evening to you, Sergeant. So what are you advising people to do right now?
Really, we're just echoing what everyone else is hearing. Stay off the beaches, off the harbors, marinas. Don't go to the shore to watch for waves. As exciting as it may seem, it's not really a smart idea. And then remain in a safe location, away from the beaches and away from the water until the advisory is lifted.
Yeah, we heard from one of our reporters, Sergeant, up in Seaside, so far to the north of you, who said that there's people out there with bonfires on the beach right now. So, what are your crews trying to do to make sure that the proper precautions are being taken? Are you going up and if there are people on the beach, talking to them one-on-one?
Yeah, we're having our people, along with our emergency management department here in Coos County, they're going to be going to the beach, making sure anybody that's out there, they're going to be telling them, hey, you need to get moving. We really just are encouraging people to stay off the beaches at this point.
And we've heard so much about what an advisory means, but what kind of impacts are you all told to expect?
The most recent update I received was we were looking at in our Charleston area waves less than a foot. It really comes in handy that it's coming right after our low tide.
Yeah, that's a good timing indeed. All right, Sergeant Christopher Gill with the Coos County Sheriff's Office. We do appreciate it, and thanks for all the work you're doing down there. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so now let's get out to our crews out on the Oregon coast.
Now let's check in with Fox 12's Dylan Scott. He's live in Seaside, and he's been taking a look at how the area is preparing under this advisory. And Dylan, I would imagine that not everybody is taking it as seriously as they should.
Pete and Riel, good evening. And as you can see, I'll step out, give you a quick look here. There are some bonfires out on the beach here in Seaside. Now, these people have been warned plenty of times by Seaside Fire and Rescue and the National Weather Service about what potentially is coming, but they're far enough back right now that I don't think there is much concern for them out there. But most of the people have heeded that warning in terms of a tsunami advisory, and they've taken some precautions. They're much further back here in Seaside, back watching from the hotel rooms, out on the balconies, further back here on the sidewalk as well. Now, the expectation again is that 1 to 3 foot waves will reach the air sometime again between 11 p.m. and midnight. Now, right now we can say that that low tide is all the way out, so you really got to walk out about 100, 200 yards, 2 football fields or so to even get out to the ocean. We don't really see anybody out there right now, which is pretty good news, and that's really because got to give credit Seaside Fire and Rescue really spending the whole afternoon along with the National Weather Service warning those out here on the beaches about those dangerous forces that come with those 1 to 3 foot waves pushed by the earthquake, a lot stronger than normal there, so really something to pay attention to, like a giant sneaker wave per se. Now, many told us that they're taking extra precautions really the remainder of this evening.
Just advising people of what's going on, that we could expect a 1 to 3 foot wave this evening about midnight, and the advisory from everybody is to stay out of the water. And then let them make the choice. Some we have coming off the beach, some people we have staying on the beach.
But what's different about these waves is they have a lot more momentum and energy behind them, and it can push the water way up further and faster up the beach than you expect. So it's basically like a sneaker wave on steroids.
So some important notes right there. One additional note, there was a power outage unrelated here in Seaside, but the power went back on about 9 o'clock. So all those alerts and such coming back through again, all the lights and such on around us here. Again, if you're on the northern Oregon coast or here in Seaside, public safety officials say just stay away from the water. You don't really appreciate the power, the potency of these waves being pushed in from Russia and that earthquake as well. We'll continue to bring you updates every couple of hours here, every 30, every hour here as well on Fox 12 Oregon. But for now, in Seaside, Dylan Scott, Fox 12 Oregon.
Definitely good timing with lower tide conditions. Dylan, thank you. We want to check in now with how things are shaping up in Newport.
That's where we find Fox 12's Leslie Dominique. Leslie, how is it where you're at?
Pete Riel, residents and visitors we spoke with here at Nye Beach expressed a rather lax attitude in response to the tsunami advisory, and that may be because the waves here are not expected to reach any higher than 1 feet. Still, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office advises that anyone on the Oregon coast remain aware of any updates. Now, some information to tell you, if you are in a tsunami advisory area, like here in Newport, Lincoln County officials advise that you move out of the water, whether that may be the beaches, the harbors, the marinas, or the bays. If you do feel a strong earthquake or extending ground rolling, it is recommended that you move inland. Now, we spoke with Austin Mender, a maintenance worker at the All Red Hotel just off of Nye Beach. He told us that at least one guest checked out early due to the tsunami advisory.
One that I know of, but also in good faith because she did have a small grandson, and grandmas don't play about the grandchildren, and so she decided to move inland until the tsunami warning was over, and then she'd come back and finish out her stay.
And we do know that some tsunami waves could be expected tonight. Those are expected to come in between 11:40 and 11:55 p.m. We will be here once they roll in. For now, reporting in Newport, Leslie Dominique, Fox 12 Oregon.
All right. All right, Leslie, thank you. And do stay with us as we continue to follow this breaking story. We're going to keep you updated through the night on air with more live reports at about 10:30 tonight and on the Fox 12 News app. Well, in other news tonight, Portland police are asking for your help in identifying Fox 12's most wanted.
Now, police are looking for a man involved in a bias crime targeting a Northeast Portland business known for their Jewish cultural practices. Fox 12's Michaela Armstrong has more on what that business has to say about the incident.
The crime took place here at this therapy co-op behind me that prides itself on being inclusive and providing therapy to multiple communities. Now the owner says that safe space was disturbed in this targeted bias crime. At around 1:30 a.m. on June 14th, police say this man went to Pulse Wellness Cooperative in Northeast Portland and vandalized the business, leaving a hateful message on the property as the suspect drew a swastika on the doorframe of the business before walking away.
That symbol is only about hate, and all I do is work to stop that.
Chief Executive Officer Roseanne Marmore says her business provides therapy to communities often overlooked, and she was shocked when she saw the swastika. But Marmore believes the business was targeted because it is a queer organization and multiple staff members are Jewish.
It's about making sure that people are afraid. And so to me, it's clear whether it's a Jewish business or a queer business or not, that the symbol is about hate. And it should be reported every time.
The suspect still has not been identified in this bias crime, and police have launched an investigation into the incident. Marmore hopes this will get her some answers, as the co-op has also endured other targeted acts, with both the mezuzah, which is a scroll containing verses from the Torah, and a pride flag being previously stolen.
The fact that it has gotten that sick, that it's that much of a virus, that racism and anti-Semitism and homophobia is that viral, that you can't even control yourself in the middle of the night, just seems like, well, do something else with your time.
Marmore says her employees are fearful this could happen again, and she is saddened that the incident is now making her contemplate how she feels about the business's location.
I feel scared that my staff has to come in and out from that. I worry about them. It makes me not want to be front and center, actually. I don't want to hide, but I don't feel like I need to be right up front anymore. And that sucks.
An investigation into the incident is ongoing, and anyone who recognizes the suspect is asked to contact PPB. In Northeast Portland, Michaela Armstrong, Fox 12 Oregon.
The 10 o'clock news is just getting started.
A man is on trial and facing charges in connection with the death of a crash that killed an 11-year-old boy.
And why his attorney says his client should be held responsible, but the jury should drop one of the most serious charges against him.